Hi everybody, and big welcome to me! In this game, or today, we're going to be playing some competitive Elder Dragon Highlander Commander, basically. Me, Pontus and Rhetoric, at this time joined by Michael.
Hi. Sorry. I'm new to this show.
So today I went back to Classic. I'm playing Tymna Dargo. I would say that we made some changes, but I just didn't figure out anything else to play, so I defaulted. Trying out Sticker Goblin, hate the concept, but I think the card is actually good, which hurts me deeply. But it's still just your Mardu Turbo shenanigans.
I'm going to play Thrasios Rograkh today, and I'm basically going to try to make infinite mana with like the Devotion Druid combo with the artifact, the Hullbreaker Horror, Teamer Sabertooth, like Dockside ETBs.
Today, I'm back with Pirate Metal. That's because I was just recently in the Maritime provinces, and so all the beaches, things like that, lots of lobsters and lobster rolls, seafood, things like that. So looking forward to coming back with some Grixis action.
So I'm playing Atraxa Grand Unifier, the big four-color identity, 7 CMC Angel, Phyrexian Angel that is just going to do cool stuff with Emil the Blessed. The big concept goal is to do food chain or just cast a fast-as consult in general. So this hand is Ancient Tomb will help me get Smothering Tide into play, but that Cavern of Souls does not tap for any mana of a color mana, or well it does, but it doesn't help me cast Smothering Tide one bit, which means I could get stuck. Like this hand could really just sit here and do nothing. Mana Drain is actually kind of good for Atraxa because it's gonna help me generate the high amount of mana that I need to cast her. But honestly, this hand is not really kicking for me. If it was a mana crypt and a command tower, I think I would keep this hand, because Smothering Tide will lead into a good game, because that will get me the mana to cast Atraxa. But I have to shuffle this away and hope for something better. This is actually... yeah, it's fine. This is good. We have a Deathrite Shaman, not the fastest things in the world, but then we have Soul Ring, we have Abrupt Decay, Force Navigation. In the end, there's a lot of reasons not to keep this hand, but the hand does contain mana, so there's a lot of good top decks that we could do. Like there's a lot of accidental, you'll draw into something good, and we have the mana to cast that whatever good it was. And we won't be that far away from eventually getting Atraxa. I probably should mulligan this though, trying to find a tutor or a early Rhystic Study, and then use the tutor to find Rhystic Study. But it feels bad tossing away I'm gonna keep this in the end. I think you should probably be a little bit more greedy and find something better than this, because this hand is in the end just Soul Ring and Deathrite Shaman. But I'm keeping it. I am a believer.
So I love this hand because I have 3 tutors. So what I can do, play Simian Spirit Guide, play Gamble, try to fetch up Crypt, something of that sort. Lets me slam down when I need, and then I've got backup for later. So if I get a turn 1 Malcolm, that's incredible. With these 2 things, I may have enough gas to try to do something rather quickly. So yeah, we're going to keep it easy and breezy like I did on vacation, and go ahead and ship it to Michael.
Dockside, this hand doesn't do anything, because I have 1 land, 6, only 3 drops. I have a Rograkh, but that's not the same place. So we go to second 7. Mana Vault. This hand looks better. I have turn 1 Mana Vault, or turn 1 Ragavan. We're going to keep this hand because I have a lot of mana and I can just play my Thrasios and see what happens. And I have a tutor for my Dockside, so yeah, I'm happy with this.
So this is our first 7. It's very close. I did forget when first looking at it that we don't have the mana to cast Ragavan. If we did, this hand is really close. I think it's still a bit awkward. But since we don't have the mana to cast Ragavan turn 1, the hand just doesn't work. So let's draw second 7. This hand also kinda close, but not really. We don't have the mana to cast turn 2 Necropotence, which is like the 1 payoff in our deck. Blank Goblin doesn't really do anything for us in this hand either. If we were able to get like 1 tutor, this hand is really good. Because we can Blank Goblin into tutor into Flare Multiplication, sacrificing Mind Goblin, copying the tutor. But that's not the hand we have. So yeah, I will again this again. Going to 6. This hand is very hard to tell how you're supposed to play. It's very powerful because we have a turn 1 Goblin Engineer, but with no clear Entomb targets. We don't have the artifact count or, I guess, creature counts to do a turn 2 Altar of Thrasios. And we don't really have the mana to pop off with something like a Defense Grid or a Wishclaw Talisman. But there's a lot of power in this hand, and worst case scenario, we would just go turn 2 Tymna and draw a card, which, while not great, it's like kind of fine. And we also have the outs to maybe like Flare of Duplication, some random tutor, or like dream scenario like an Adnos. Not that that's gonna happen. So I think this hand is just powerful enough to keep, but it's not the clearest line I've ever seen here. But yeah, I kind of like it. I'm just bottoming the swords, keeping a red blast, because everything I care about is blue here anyways. Let's see how our top decks shape our game plan, because they're really gonna shape our game plan. Yeah, keeping a 6, pretty fine. Let's go.
So I'm gonna draw a card for the turn. I'm gonna play this Windswept Heath, sacrifice that. I'm gonna find a Bayou and use that to cast a Deathrite Shaman and pass the turn.
Draw a card to start us off. Land for turn is a City of Brass. I will exile Simian Spirit Guide for 1 red. Cast a gamble. More resolves, I'll go find a card. And the audience can see the card here, so we'll do a random discard. Hope for the best. Alright, Wooded Foothills goes into the bin. Play this Mana Crypt, tap Mana Crypt and City of Brass, taking 1 damage to cast my commander, Malcolm. With that, I will pass the turn.
I will draw my card for the turn. I will start by playing this Ancient Tomb. I will tap the Ancient Tomb to cast a Mana Vault. 1 mana floating for a Springleaf Drum. And I will cast my commander. Tap this for a Ragavan. And I will pass the turn after.
I will take my turn. Land for turn will be a Godless Shrine, which I will shock in, taking 2. I'll then cast a Mana Crypt. I'll tap Mana Crypt for 2 to cast a Felwar Stone. And then I'll tap those 2 to cast a Goblin Engineer. Goblin Engineer ETB. Goblin Engineer will entomb a Cursed Mirror. And then I'll pass.
Untap and draw. Play this Marsh Flats. Tap this to cast a Soldering. And then I pass.
Alright, we will untap and roll for Crypt. With that on the stack, I am going to tap City of Brass for 1 damage and cast a Vampiric Tutor. Vampiric Tutor resolves, and we'll go find a card. Here is a special card. We will put this on top and then take the 2 damage, and then we'll roll for Crypt. Flip the tails. Again, you have to take my word for it, guys. But and then we will draw this card. We will move to combat. I think I'll just attack Monzi for 2.
I take 2.
Great. I will make a treasure, and then I will crack said treasure for red, make 2 for Mana Crypt, keep 1 floating, cast a Dockside. Dockside resolves to make 5 treasures. I will then knock down 2 treasures, and I'll cast a Demonic Tutor. And with Demonic Tutor, I grab the card that you see here. I will go down 3 more treasures and cast a Rhystic Study. Rhystic Study resolves. 1 treasure up, pass turn.
In your end step before passing the turn, I'm gonna sacrifice this, finding an Underground Sea, tapping Deathrite Shaman, exiling Redrick's Wooded Foothills, using Soldering to pay for extra for the Rhystic Study, and abrupt decaying the Rhystic Study.
Well done. That's exile. Or Integrave.
I can go to my turn then. I'll draw my card for the turn. First, I'll start to go to combat. I will attack Mons for 2 with the Ragavan.
But I just did something good. I removed the Rhystic Study. I take 2, and you get a forest.
A forest, yeah, that's what I needed. I'll make a treasure as well. I will go to second main. I will play a command tower as land for turn. Just play my commander. Play Thrasios. Good end step.
Go to my turn. So I kind of got punished, or, well, I was conflicted. I had the chance to copy the Demonic Tutor from Rhetoric. It was split because on one hand, I really wanted to swap my Felwar Stone, or, yeah, Felwar Stone or Mana Crypts. I want to swap one of my rocks into Dockside, because Dockside is really good. The problem is I don't really have an outlet for the mana, so it's not the best choice ever. So I'm not sure if I actually was correct in thinking that way. I think maybe I should have taken the Demonic Tutor instead, actually. But I thought a bit too long, and yeah, here we are. I should probably have copied the Demonic Tutor with my flare, but yeah, what I actually have now is instead, I think I have enough mana. Barely. No, wait, I don't have. Yeah, I do. I should have enough mana to do some spicy shenanigans here because we can Goblin Engineer for Dockside with the Curse Mirror. Then we can Dargo, Sacking Engineer, Reanimate Engineer, find Walter, cast Walter. That sounds like a good plan. I think I have mana. Let's just start doing stuff and see what happens. Tapping Valor Stone for red and Mana Crypt float into colorless. And then activate Goblin Engineer to swap my Mana Crypt for a Curse Mirror. Cursed Mirror will enter as a Dockside. Dockside ETB resolves, and I'll make 5 treasures. Play a land for turn, which will be the City of Traitors. I will crack 1 treasure, sacrifice my Engineer as an additional cost to cast a Dargo. With Dargo in play, I will tap my land for black, cast a Reanimate starting my Goblin Engineer. Reanimate resolves. I lose 2 life, and I have a Goblin Engineer ETB on stack. I will entomb a Altar of the Wretched. I will crack a treasure, use my 2 colorless, and activate Altar of the Wretched ability to put it back into my hand from my graveyard.
Oh, it can do that. Cool.
With it back in my hand, I'll tap City of Traitors for 2, use a treasure to cast a Altar of the Wretched.
A Thrasios activation on the stack. And one blue and colorless floating.
You can do it!
It's a 1 ring. It's quite. It goes on the bottom, sorry. And I will show you guys a Force of Will.
Whoa!
I will Force of Will it, pitching like. Also a big win con for me, but it is the Neo form. And I will Force of Will it.
In response to your Force of Will, I will use a red mana to red Elemental Blast the Force of Will.
In response to this, I will cast Force of Negation, pitching Teferi, the Time Reveler. I am targeting the Altar of the Wretched, as that will, if my Force of Negation resolve, send it into exile, as it seems to be able to come back.
In response to your Force of Negation, I will cast a Flare of Duplication, sacrificing my Goblin Engineer. I would like to copy your Force of Negation to target your Force of Negation. So Flare of Duplication is just a pretty new card still. Really good card. I'm not sure about in this deck, but in Rogue decks it's really great. It's basically support, which you can cast for free if you have control a red creature to sacrifice. And so I cast it for free. I target Force of Negation. That will create a copy of Force of Negation, which will be targeting Mons' Force of Negation. So Mons' Force of Negation will be countered. My Red Blast will counter the Force of Will, and then Altar of the Wretched will resolve. And on ETB, I will sacrifice Dargo to draw 7 and mill 7. So I'm drawing these 5 cards, there's 7 cards, and then I'm milling a Pyroblast, a Lotus Petal, a Bloodstained Mire, a Silence, a LED, a Wheel of Misfortune, and the Adnos. Then I will sacrifice my last treasure to recast a Dargo, sacrificing the Altar of the Wretched. Then, with Dargo in play, I'll cast a Mox Amber. I'll tap Mox Amber to cast a Ragavan, and then I'm passing turn. And in my end step, my Curse Mirror will stop being a Dockside and become a normal Curse Mirror. It's a Mana Rock.
Oh, my turn. Cool. How did that happen? Draw a card. I'm gonna play a Bloodstained Mire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next turn. Pass.
Take my turn. I will untap and we'll roll for crypts. Heads, I'll take damage. Flip to tails. We'll draw a card. I will just move to combat and I'll attack Michael just on the grounds of you being a guest on the show. Welcome. For 2.
I'll take it.
Made a treasure, which gives us 2 here. I'm going to pass, actually. 3 cards in hand. Go ahead, Michael.
I'll take 1 from the mana vault. I'll draw my card for turn. Going to play this Taiga, heading straight to combat. Mons, I'm attacking you for 2.
Oh, I need my death right. I'll take 2. Haha, you got a City of Traitors. I don't need lands.
You don't need lands. I make a treasure. I'll tap these, take 2 for a Arcane Signet. Tap this for Bird of Paradise. Pass my turn.
Go to my turn. I'll start by going to combat. Mons, you really wanted your Dork, I believe. So Ragavan will go with you, Mons, and I'll send Dargo at Rhetoric.
I'll take 2. And yeah, I don't want that. You can have this spell. It's all yours. You get a treasure. I take 2.
Post-count main phase, I will play a scrub land that will trigger Seat of Traitors. I'll tap it in response to trigger, making 2 colorless. Tap scrub land to cast a dark ritual that resolves, and I'll make 3 black. I'll use 1 black and 1 colorless floating to cast a Cabal ritual. Cabal ritual resolves, make 5 more black, go up to 7 black. Use 2 black, 1 colorless to return my Altars Wretch from my graveyard to my hand.
Guess who's back? Back again. I pass.
Use 3 black to recast my Altars Wretch. 2 black left floating.
Crack this. Put a Thrasios activation on the stack. I'll look at this card. This goes on the bottom. I'll move to the bottom of the library. I will show you guys an Elder's Evolution. Doesn't work. And then I'm good to pass.
Altars Wretched ETB.
So if we're looking at Alter the Wretched and Notion Thief, if I were to allow Dargo to be sacrificed, I couldn't respond basically in the middle of these 2 sentences. In order to kind of prevent or see what Pontus might want to do, I'm casting Notion Thief with the ETB trigger on the stack. And so now he has a decision.
So, of course, I would never sacrifice Dargo here. But, would I? So, what's happening here is that if I mill Sevins, I always have a way to win from here. But the odds of milling Sevins is about 1 in 10. So 10% chance to win. Kinda. 10% chance to win here is actually not that bad. I kind of want to do it just because it's fun. That's the biggest reason. But Mons hits Atraxa next turn. I think guaranteed. He acts like he don't need lands, which probably means he has another land, so he can just do Atraxa next turn. Atraxa with no mana doesn't necessarily win the game, so I'm not guaranteed losing that. Portuguese is low on cards, but has an Ocean Thief. Thrasios Rograkh seems to be just grinding right now, so maybe I'm not actually losing if I pass. I really want to take this dumb gamble though. but yeah, so basically the reason I'm thinking about it at all is just milling 7, 1 in 10, win the game. As long as no one has counters, but probably don't, because I have mana to flashback events. If I hit Breach as well, that's also just a win. But I don't even need to hit Breach to have enough to win. But yeah, I think I need to be reasonable and not be that stupid. So we're not gonna sacrifice anything. I'm not happy about it, but yeah. This game is really awkward now because my only out is to kind of kill Rhetoric, because my other out is Tymna, and Notion Thief shuts down that as well. So yeah, we're not in a great spot right now. So post my plans going away, because I can't say the other word, I will use my 2 black floating that's left to cast a Talisman of Indulgence. And then we'll tap 1, 2, 3 to cast a very sad Tymna. But after all of that, we're just passing the turn.
In your end step, I'm gonna sacrifice Bloodstained Mire and activate Deathrite Shaman, eating your silence, Pontus. All of you lose 2 life, and I will find a scrub land. And then I will go to my turn and draw a card. Let's play this Scalding Tarn, sacrifice that, and I will find a Tundra. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'll take a land from Pontus' graveyard with a Deathrite. And I will cast the 7 mana anti-Ragavan tech Atraxa Grand Unifier. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna grab Tropical Island as the land. I don't have much of a choice, so creature is Esper Sentinel as the only creature, and then Imposter Mech as the only artifact. Demonic Tutor is the only sorcery. I'm gonna grab Smothering Tide and then Fluster Storm. Discarding Gemstone Cavern to hand size and passing the turn.
Untap, upkeep, heads again for mana crypts. Heads. All right, I take 3 damage. Draw a card. I will send Dockside at Michael, and I will send Malcolm at Pontus.
Guess I'm going to block it with my Thrasios.
But I have no blocks and take 2.
I will make 1 treasure. I'm not good at bluffing, Michael, so I thought I'd see if you thought I had a trick or something. But go ahead.
Take 1 damage from the mana vault. I have to combat as well. I will swing 2 at Pontus.
No blocks, take 2. And you will exile a Vampiric Tutor.
Ooh, move to second main. I will cast an Elder's Evolution, sacrificing Rograkh. Search for a Dockside. This goes to exile, Dockside. Making 8, you said, right?
I'm sacrificing my treasure in response to ETB.
Yeah, so I make 7 instead. I had all 1 for myself, so take 2 damage for a gilded trick. I'll like myself a notion thief. Crack 1 treasure, use the vampire tutor. 4 colorless, and treasure of the 1 colorless and 2 treasures. And I will reveal a Phyrexian metamorph. Put that in my hands. And 3 treasures, copy Atraxa. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Artifact, I will keep this. Enchantment, I will keep this. Instant, I will keep this. And as land, I will keep the City of Brass. And this will be my creature. This goes to the bottom. I will play the City of Brass as land for turn. I will sack the last treasure, pay 1 life, play a Mox Opal, tap that for a Heuristic Study. And after that, I'm ready to pass as well.
Go to my turn. Land for turn will be a Arid Mesa. I will fetch. Finding a Raucous Theatre. ETB, I will surveil. Look at top card. I don't need top card. I'll put this Culling the Weak into my graveyard. Then I will tap 2. Just, I guess, throw this out there. Cast the Altar of Dementia, paying for Heuristic. And with Altar of Dementia in play, I will move to combat. And there's just one person who doesn't trade favorably with Dargo. So, Rhetoric, hello.
Yeah, I'll block. Yeah, from Gilded Drake.
So, Rhetoric takes 4, and then I will not pay 1 life to give away a card in my first Manifest with Tymna. And I will just pass.
Untap and draw a card. Sweet. Savannah. Land drop. I'm gonna begin by casting Silence.
All right, fellas. I have a Pact Negation. I've been holding it just because, it's hard when you only have 4 mana to do this. So, with the hope that Michael won't counter the counter spell that affects Pact of Negation and causes me to lose, I am going to Pact of Negation that Silence, or I'm targeting it, I should say.
Fun fact, so will I. My Silence is countered. I'm gonna cast an Esper Sentinel. You can draw with Heuristic Study. I'm gonna cast an Imposter Mech. You can draw... you can draw. I think I'm gonna need that mana.
Fierce Guardianship on it.
I will not draw a card. Wait, it's not a May.
It is not a May, sorry.
You may draw a card because of my Esper, but that is fine. I will respond by exiling a land with Deathrite Shaman and casting Flusterstorm. I will actually pay for this Heuristic Study with the floating that I have from Soldering and try to counterspell your Fierce Guardianship.
Resolves from me. I'll pass on it.
So Fluster destroys Fierce Guardianship, and Imposter Mech will enter as a Dockside Extortionist with an ETB trigger on the stack. I'll gain 12 treasures. That's quite a lot. I will cast a Demonic Tutor, and I can pay for the Heuristic Study here actually. I'm gonna find and cast Emil the Blessed, and I can actually pay for the Heuristic Study again. So it's 4 mana, 5 mana, Emil the Blessed. So here is a almost perfect situation where Emil wins, but it doesn't work. But it will still work because it makes enough mana. So Imposter Mech is not a creature currently, it just ETB'd as a Dockside Extortionist. But it's not a creature, it's a vehicle, so I can't use Emil the Blessed targeting the Imposter Mech. But what I can do is crew the Imposter Mech by tapping Atraxa. Then I spend 3 of my 6 remaining treasures to flicker the Imposter Mech, going up to more treasures, up to 15. And then I spend 3 treasures to flicker Atraxa. Now, Imposter Mech will come into play again as a vehicle, and Atraxa will come into play again untapped. This means that I have infinite mana and infinite Atraxa ETBs. So how I'm going to win this is by first just flickering Atraxa infinitely to have my entire deck list in my hand, cast Grand Abolisher, or preferably cast Grand Abolisher before I have my entire deck in my hand. And once I have my entire deck in my hand, no remaining library, okay, I can have like a 5 cards remaining and a very high devotion to blue, cast Thrasios Rograkh and win the match. And the Rhetoric doesn't even need to die to his Pact of Negation. So no spite play there even. So 7 mana Atraxa, my opening hand was very fishy. But we got there somehow. I found a Dockside Extortionist. Who would have thought? And I found an Emil the Blessed that works with a Dockside Extortionist. I just had to sit here and watch everyone else almost win. I feel very contributing with the Abrupt Decay and the Force of Negation and Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna win this one. It felt like the win was coming from someone at a lot of attempts. But as no one got there, there were dock sides in play. The win was inevitable mine, apparently.
Yeah, I was very close, or I had a very good game, to be honest. But just twice, I just barely didn't get there. I couldn't beat an Ocean Thief. I think that's the only card I couldn't beat in that seat. And my first Ultra Wretch was pretty bad, but that's what happens.
I mean, it was cool to see that battle in the middle of the game. It was like turn 2, turn 3, something like that. Everybody's throwing out stuff, except me at that point. But yeah, I think it's interesting how like there's usually like 2 or 3 win attempts sometimes.
Yeah, you were pretty close to having a line as well, right?
Yeah,
like
I mean, I think
you went for Ristic Study, and Ristic Study could have been a lot better without the Abrupt Decay from Mons, but still, I think you were close to cobbling something together there, if you want for it.
Yeah, and there was some idea of maybe getting Underworld Breach, but then thinking it through, we were like, I'm going to be 1 short. So that was kind of the game for a lot, is just being 1 or 2 mana short in different ways. And then finally, as Mon said, with those dockside copies and stuff, got there.
Yeah.
Tried to figure out some lines with my tutor there, but I needed to spend a little bit too much mana to draw the card. And I wanted to go for a Cloudstone Courier or for the Tame Sabertooth line, but yeah, it was like a little bit too expensive. I came like 1 mana short, I guess, and that was like my game. And then I was like, then try to copy the Atraxa and see what I get. I get 1 interaction piece, but it was not enough. I want to thank you for having me here. It was a great pleasure to play with you guys. And yeah, I've seen you guys in Amsterdam on the MagicCon, and yeah, it's very nice. I hope I can come back sometime.
Of course, happy to have you. That's it for this time. Hope you enjoyed this battle match. We will be back next week, as always. Until then, take care, guys!